Okay, on that note, we can get started. Welcome to Exalted Scarfcast number 48, I think we're on, which is the big, great acquisition that went on. But before we start, something funny happened in the news lately. Now,
What?
for
What? What?
one to Jeffrey Toobin, how bad did that Senate meeting go?
Well, very bad. I'm gonna go, super, super bad. I'll let you take care of this one.
Well, uh, let's just say, I've heard mixed stories as to what was going on. Actually, I'm gonna check to make sure that the audio is working correctly. But yeah, I've heard. Uh, Hold on, cause yeah, apparently what had happened is that while doing a an online Senate meeting that involved a Zoom call,
Oh,
a Tifa
that.
porn parody appeared.
Oh, that. I literally thought you were talking about something else for a second. Yeah, the Italian Senate.
For
Uh,
some reason,
yeah.
yeah, it was one of those. Uh, I think it's like, well, it used to be source filmmaker porn. It's actually, I think it's now like Blender porn.
Well, look. Everybody saw Tifa got railed in the Italian Senate, on Zoom.
Yeah,
And it was left on for, from what I hear, about a couple minutes. So yeah, Italy, apparently. Thank you for exposing us to Tifa. She was a great visitor to your country, and
yeah,
clearly,
yeah. That was a weird one that just happened. Uh, in fact, I'm gonna see if I get one sec. I need to remember to share my screen on Discord as well, so you can see what's going on here too.
give me a sec, man. Do, 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 do.
But yeah,
As everybody,
but
the fan art has been amazing.
yeah, the fan art's hilarious. So now we
Uh,
got like Tifa dressed up in like Italian flags and everything. I mean, I think I could show you like a sort of preview of what they might have seen on that Senate meeting. I mean, there you go,
um,
flag and all. That's pretty much what I'm gonna show at this point. I'm not gonna show the full thing because YouTube.
yeah, it's a special thing.
But yeah, another thing I've heard is that it. Well, I think the Italian senator tried to play it off as if he he had been hacked or as if the meeting had been hacked. But I think what had happened, or at least from what I've heard, is that he may have clicked on the wrong link and it led to a porn link.
Probably did. That just sometimes happens. To be fair, this is why you don't save your porn uh online. Like, look, if you're gonna want to watch that later, just download the video and like a normal person.
Or at least keep it on a separate screen.
Uh,
But
you
even then,
know,
it's like, yeah, you probably want to close all your porn before you go on to a public broadcast.
but I need to get out the urge.
Oh my fucking god. You,
The urge, Mike.
yeah, unless you're
It's
skilled at hiding stuff like I am, although for me it's not that hard because no one ever watches this and I could just edit things freely if something compromising comes up before
But I have.
anyone like reports anything.
Yeah, well, I've been.
Yeah,
Well, I got into.
there are some perks to being like relatively unknown.
It's true. I actually got into like a bit of. I got into another fun, minor controversy by my standards, but
Oh dear.
today it's fine. Honestly, look, I figured at this point it's just now tradition that we talk about my various adventures online through the Twitter sphere. Today, I've been having to mess with some Transformers fandom. Now you might be saying, "Aren't you a Transformers fan?" And yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am a man who is into Transformers, and I accept this. So, just to get a general idea of what I've been doing. So, recently, the Transformers fandom is having a collective shit fit. Well, okay, not all of them's having collective shit fit, but some special people on a model kit, Flame Toys Windblade. Um, if you want to, you can look it up. Flame Toys Windblade. That's what it's called. Because since we're talking about sexy things,
Oh, all right.
Wind, Blade,
Windblade.
Flame Toys.
What? Plain toys?
Flame, like fire, flame.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
I think
she's
I'll.
quite the package, isn't she?
Yeah, I'll bring this up.
That's a yeah. So, Toys Wind Blade, not Wind Blade. Um, you have a D there.
Well,
Yeah, is a model.
she's just curvaceous. I mean, it's not as explicit as was it Nice E?
Nicey is a third party toy, so it isn't actually made by Hasbro or has any involvement. This one does though, so it's a little bit more like you
Yeah,
can't
I could see the
ignore
Hasbro logo right there.
it. Yeah. So anyway, the point of this model kit line is that one, it was made for the Japanese audience. Two, it's meant to show off various artistic interpretations of various Transformers characters. Like, like Optimus Prime looks like a full on fucking anime character with like angular musculature and stuff like that. All that jazz, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of this thing. And so the Transformers fandom is doing collective shit fit, and they're like, God, why does every female Transformer have to be sexualized? And I'm like, as a collector, not every toy who's female is actually sexualized. And I just kept throwing examples, and I'm like, guys, I don't want every Transformer to look like a bot. I want some variety in my collection. Is that so wrong? Mike, is that so wrong to want variety in a robot collection?
I mean,
You
yeah, it's
know?
like have it's like come on, have some diversity. I mean, she's clearly a thick black woman.
Yes. Look. We have to accept, you know, like I'm just saying, man. eh, Jokes aside, it just really kind of was like, okay, look, one, I'm gonna break it down. I like one guy today who was just like, "How dare you? Fuck you for saying that. You're wrong." And it's like, okay, all right, and okay, I'm gonna read out this tweet because it's hilarious. Okay,
Uh
so basically, I've been destroying this guy all day. All right, and he made this tweet in like response to why why people don't respect me and blah blah blah. Like why aren't people understanding me? I want you to find the irony. To clarify, for the avoidance of doubt, because people can't fucking read for some reason, I am supportive of a variety of body type for Transformers. I am not in any way a prude. I just don't want every fucking fembot to be hypersexualized. Why is that difficult? You see the problem with this?
God damn it. I think there are people out there who are just somehow like they're threatened by the art of sexuality or anything that might be arousing to them. And I think that points to a potential dark past that they might have had involving something arousing. That's my guess.
Um,
But I don't want to cast too many false aspersions.
yeah, that's fine. It's okay, dude. Like it's just it is what it is. I find it funny. This is more like just a funny haha thing
Yeah.
rather than
Uh, Chances are, maybe he's just the kind of person who wants a plus size Transformer.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, good. Can you imagine if they released a Transformer that had a skirt?
I'm sure actually there might be one or two of them. I actually want to design like a kimono for this one actually. Um Believe it or not, there's actually a version of this transform in a kimono. I thought it was a really pretty look. And I actually want to see if I could maybe start trying to sew some of that for her, just because I'm like, that'd be a cool look. Having a transformer in a kimono, that sounds like a neat visual like display piece. So
But yeah, I mean, this isn't all that bad. I mean, it's clearly made for the Japanese audience, and well, for the kind of people who like those, I guess, idol dolls or whatnot.
look. We all like our waifus, man, and sometimes our waifus, take many different forms.
Like a car.
Yes. Uh, I've seen Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Oh, I get.
Look, you set that up.
All right. Can we just? I think we'll move on to our main topic here,
Yes.
which is, oh boy, I think this happened like the day after our previous live stream when we were talking about when we were just talking about uh the head of Microsoft wanting to have a ban list for everything. Well, now they have more games they can ban you from. Holy shit. For somewhere around the levels of was it 69 billion or I think it was 68.7 billion. They managed to acquire Activision Blizzard.
Hmm. Wow, really?
So yeah,
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard went from being on fire to swallowed up whole.
Yeah. They basically just were like trying to punch down. And now Activision Blizzard is, yeah, in this hell.
Yeah, they
It's special.
they've taken they've taken Activision Blizzard and they got a pretty good deal off of it, all things considering. Probably because of all the controversy going on, which kinda makes me suspicious. I mean, I'm not saying that maybe there might have been some kind of corporate psyop to possibly expose a lot of dirty laundry moments before a big acquisition would come, but Anything's possible. But you know what else is possible? Crash Bandicoot, a former mascot for Sony PlayStation, is now probably an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah. Okay, actually, here's the thing. A lot of people are saying Xbox exclusive this, Xbox exclusive that. There might be a weird aspect about this, which might be a thing. Microsoft might not be too interested in actually bolstering up the Xbox brand. They might be interested in bolstering up the Game Pass brand.
Yeah, they have a Game Pass.
And there's other aspects too about them possibly going more third party. So the Xbox might become like a dead line to an extent.
Yeah, I'm thinking they may be. Actually, I don't even know if games for Windows is still a thing. It's probably not. But yeah, they're
I
definitely gonna
don't
put.
think it is.
Think about it. We might have World of Warcraft on Game Pass.
Mhm.
I mean, that's gonna be a big thing. I mean, there's gonna be a. Think of how many games they probably have acquired. I mean, this they're them acquiring Bethesda wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, Bethesda and a couple other ones as well. Like right now, it's kind of one of those things of they're just reaching out and just stuffing it and just stuffing everything down their pants.
And yeah, at this point, I'm almost hard pressed to think of what game company they don't own at this point. Cause Activision Blizzard, that's a big umbrella when you think about it, along with Bethesda. So already, I think I think Microsoft is starting to turn into the Disney of gaming.
Yep. Um, that's a possibility. I honestly am wondering how well this is actually going to work out for them in the long run. And the only reason I'm saying that is Disney had a lot of issues supporting itself after buying all that. Because let me put it this way, like it wasn't always an easy ride. Like people forget, like after buying Fox, they basically were Disney's still actually recovering a lot of things after that whole thing. Like they really went in on Disney Plus, and also Disney Plus is failing, so this could actually end up fucking Microsoft over in the long run.
Yeah.
Um, it also brings up like because here's just the truth of it. Whenever acquisitions like these happen, there's always something that falls by the wayside, and that means any of these big franchises could easily be the one. Like COD could easily fall by the wayside because Microsoft is like Halo.
Oh yeah,
And
that's right. The COD can't compete against Halo anymore.
yeah, like there's that aspect about it.
Which
So
I mean, that's probably no big loss, but the just, just
look,
think about it. At the end of the day, Halo won the first-person shooter wars.
in an
Actually, we may
ironic
not
way,
since they have Bethesda. That might mean we may not get another Doom.
uh Doom I actually think will be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
Honestly, I don't actually think Doom is fucked over. Like here's the thing. COD is fucked over because it's multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like who gives a shit about the single player in COD games? Like, I'm sorry, people who somehow enjoy the COD single player experience. I know you exist
Well,
and
there.
are valid, but Like, you know,
Their single player games have been kind of shit recently, so
yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, oh,
ultimately, yeah,
and Doom never really hit the multiplayer market in that way. They were very strong single player first person shooter games, and that's just the truth of it.
yeah.
Like the
Although
one that would
lately
be,
I've been sticking to classic Doom.
yeah, that's fair. And the one that would end up being fucking over, and honestly has been, would be Unreal Tournament. So, like not really a huge loss there in terms of stuff. Though I forgot they had Candy Crush. That one was new to me.
Really? I mean, all right. So they got something on the mobile market. Then again, a lot of these games were on mobile. I mean, Call of Duty was on mobile.
Look, they got Korea by the ball. Well, I maybe, but
Yeah, they got Candy Crush. Oh, that's hilarious to me. They got Diablo, they got Overwatch, they got StarCraft.
huh? Uh,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next Diablo game being on Xbox Game Pass. It I'm gonna go right out and say I don't trust the whole Game Pass thing. I don't trust anything that doesn't allow me to either fully download my games onto my hard drive or give me a physical disc of a game.
personally, yeah. Like,
But yeah, for
I
most
mean,
people, it's a convenience. They're willing to take convenience over their own ownership rights. So it's like, all right,
as
fine.
long as I can put it on like a hard drive or something, too, actually. But yeah, it's still like, we're in that weird quagmire of like, I hope that we end up like in situations where more things are available, but it can just be such a shit show sometimes. Like, here's the thing. Like, do you know how many games Activision had that were Marvel related or Transformers related? That was like a punch to the gut when they lost the licenses to that, and then you couldn't find them anymore unless you had like the discs and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that Transformers War for Cybertron game was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, like both the duology is great. The only reason that it stopped was because Activision was like, we're gonna rush it out and fuck it over. Yeah, it's like Activision. Why'd you kill a good thing? Like, you know,
Can you imagine if they started taking developers of StarCraft and have them work on Halo Wars?
that'd be fun. Honestly, well, to be fair, what developers of StarCraft are left at Blizzard?
Exactly. I
The
think a lot.
two,
Yeah,
yes, the two interns, Jimmy and Haley, work on Halo Wars. Get that
actually, the
Blizzard
biggest
magic.
irony is if they got the developers that worked on the Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Maybe Microsoft will say, "Hey, let's get StarCraft Ghost out."
Oh yeah, Blizzard would. Blizzard never really let that character go. They they even developed an entire StarCraft 2 campaign around her.
I know that. That's just I'm just saying,
I mean, and granted, there is some appeal to a first-person shooter, StarCraft. I mean, some people have made StarCraft 2 mods where you're playing in first person.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, all right, yeah, I could see the appeal. But yeah, Can you think of any game company or any major game companies that isn't under the Bethesda or Activision Blizzard umbrella?
Oh,
I mean, I'm probably gonna have to look.
like unless like it's related to Nintendo or Sony, like
Yeah,
not much, honestly. We're kind of in the mode of like fuck.
and
We're just going.
Sony's stock is like plummeting. By
Okay,
the way.
I just realized something. Capcom,
Oh, get Capcom.
Sega, Sega too. There's also like mostly the Japanese ones are fine.
Yeah,
Uh, Honestly, it would be fun if like some of the old developers, because Jesus Christ, there's only one hope I could maybe make from this. And here's the thing: I hate that this happened. Because oftentimes like people are like, "No, it will be better." It's like, no, it won't. It's just gonna go fucked in a different direction usually.
usually anything getting centralized leads to something bad. I mean, just look at what happened with when everything from YouTube to everything else gets centralized under Google.
Yeah, no, it usually means like there are standards like honestly the only thing we might have happen is that maybe a bunch of developers will be free from the COD mines.
Yeah, that's the one good thing.
That's a possibility. That's the only thing that could happen. Because here's the thing: do you know how many developers have just been sacrificed for the COD? Oh, let's get the developers of Crash Bandicoot to make COD. That makes total fucking sense. Let's get the people who made the Marvel Legends games that are popular to make COD. Makes total fucking sense. Let's, and so on and so forth. At this point, like, I'm shocked that Blizzard hadn't made a COD game yet. I'm sure that was on the table at some point.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, but yeah, if anything else, this is bad news for Sony.
oh yeah, this is very bad, but we're just gonna have to see.
I
And
mean,
by
what companies are left? I mean, there's Ubisoft, there's EA,
Ubisoft, EA is the major one, and
there's also
on
Valve. They still got Steam. There's also Epic.
yeah, I guess good for them.
Oh my god, can you imagine if Microsoft decided to just have their own like Steam clone?
They tried. Uh,
Yeah, I know they did.
they fucking failed hard.
I mean, I don't think they might. I don't think they're gonna try again after that because they have their Game Pass. But who
Oh yeah,
knows? It's like once they start acquiring enough stuff, it's like they might actually. I mean, maybe they'll try again. But then again, maybe Apple will bring out the Pippin again.
maybe Apple will become the Pippin.
You've heard of the Apple Pippin, right?
I've seen the Apple Pippin. I played with the Apple Pippin.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm just saying.
well, what game did you play on it?
I forgot exactly because let me put it this way. I was just messing around at MagFest. Sometimes they just bring like various consoles and games to mess with.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I admittedly, I was a little drunk while playing it.
Yeah, that was probably the only place where you could probably find and play one because it's like, hey, they bring all kinds of game consoles there.
Like, you know, like I'm looking this back up, but that's how I ended up playing on the Philips CDI, you know?
Oh yeah, I think I played with that at an electronics store way back in the day.
So, I got to play with the formerly $600 console.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
thought the PlayStation was it PlayStation 3 or 4 or was expensive, holy crap! There were game consoles that were stupidly
Yeah.
expensive back in the day.
Yeah, basically. Huh. Didn't know Bandai actually helped with the Pippin. I'm just now looking this stuff up and seeing like what exactly was made for it. Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think Bandai has gotten into the video game market and they've made a few games.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely have dude, uh they definitely have. So,
I mean, I remember Bandai Namco.
well, like honestly, they have like a couple things. The most famous thing is the Wonder Swan, actually, that I know about. The Wonder Swan was their attempt at a Game Boy competitor. It only ended. I think it only was ever in Japan. There might have been an English release, but uh, it's pretty famous for having some very exclusive games and some pretty major ones too. Remember Mega Man and Bass, which was a classic style Mega Man game for the Game Boy Advance? That was originally released on one of the Wonder Swan, well, or the Super. It was released on look, it was exclusive to Japan for a while. I forgot. Sorry, I am literally sometimes. The reason I know about the Wonder Swan in particular is because of stupid Digimon Deep lore,
Yep.
which is not something you say too much, that you only know a game console because of stupid deep lore, which was um they introduced this character in the Digimon anime named Rio, who showed up in various scenes, and they explain his backstory in these video games that are Japan exclusive, and not and so it's like, what the fuck is up with this dude? What's this whole thing? And to get his full story, you had to play this like obscure Digimon game. It's like, the fuck? You could have released it in a manga? Make it easier for us? Made it into an OVA? Something?
That
And
reminds me
that's
of Enter the Matrix. That had some like,
essentially.
yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, Speaking of video games, a friend of mine got me watching The Dragon Prince, which I took a look at it and went like, man, this looks like every MMORPG turned into a cartoon series.
Oh, the Dragon Prince I actually liked a lot. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the design. I like the look of it all. Dialogue's a bit cringy, but I get what their target audience is. Is probably teenagers.
Yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender fans.
Yeah, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender in a medieval West European setting.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Honestly, uh, I'll say this: the biggest problem with the show is the animation in season one is very jerky. They get smoother in later seasons,
Yeah, that's the
thankfully.
one thing I noticed. It's like, are they trying to emulate like uh, jerky animations of actual drawings, which even then
Literally,
wasn't that jerky. It looked like it was lagging.
I think they were going for a weird stylistic thing, and not ever like something. I forget the actual reason for the jerkiness, but a lot of people noted it, and so they fixed it up in season 2 onward, so it looks a lot better.
Yeah, it's also the one time when I had to explain to my girl what cell shading is.
Cell shading is a technique that we've been using for a long time.
Yeah, it's been in animations. It's certainly been in video games. It's a it's a combination of cell shaded animations, and I think they actually paint the backgrounds. So yeah, it's a good looking series. I do enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah,
you just gotta have to get used to the dialogue sounding like a high school drama.
I
I
I'll,
just
I'll have
I just
you.
kept laughing whenever I like started pointing out the like what high school character stereotypes each person was. It's like obviously the captain of the guards is the football jock.
Yes,
His sister is the valley girl. Callum's definitely the nerd.
yes,
And yeah, uh, it's an amusing show once you get into it.
very.
But
Either way,
yeah, I just got into it because I just like the clothing designs and everything because it reminds me of just about every MMORPG out there with that overly designed armor set, overly ornate armor set that looks very impractical, but actually looks really cool.
that's fair. But but now, like I said, I enjoyed Dragon Prince a lot. I thought it was a good show. With
Yeah, I
you
enjoy
know,
the premise. I mean, it has that whole like party coming together kind of feeling, and that whole quest line and everything.
that's fair.
Yeah. Now we need another one of those series for say, I don't know, maybe next type of show they'll make is something that takes place in Mesoamerica.
That'd be fun. I would dig the hell out of it.
Or maybe one set in Africa where they have like one based off of the like Gao Empire or something or Malian Empire.
Well, what happens is that the entire show will just be gonna take me out, take me away. It'll just be Africa. It'll just be
Oh yeah, oh yeah. When I saw the king in the Dragon Prince, I just instantly heard "We was Kangs" in my head, and I
a
just
lot of
burst out laughing, and I could, and I, and I had to explain that to my girl. I was like, oh, it's like,
we love.
it's like,
Oh God, I actually
it's like
remember.
medieval European setting, and you just
Oh
got,
God, I hate saying this, but I ended up breaking a lot of people's innocence on my Twitter when I pointed out that they made King a black man in the MCU and how this wasn't very well thought out.
oh dear,
Way was Kang.
yeah. Uh, there's a new meme going out over the Lord of the Rings now. It's now like
Oh,
Lord of the Rings
Lord of the Rings. I know,
because they're
like,
gonna have a much more, di- I guess, diverse cast in the Lord of the Rings show.
I really. Let me put it this way. At this point, I just am like looking at it. I'm just wondering how the fuck is Amazon? Amazon's putting so much shit into it. I'm just looking at them and I'm like, okay, I'm looking to just see you fall on your ass. And I'm not gonna lie, that's all I'm looking at here for.
Oh yeah, I still need to catch up on the Wheel of Time series just so I could actually do a proper rant on it as a guy who who's not a fan of the books but have actually read it.
That's fair.
Because so far, everyone who's done rants on it actually love the books. I'm gonna do it for I would if I'm gonna do a rant on it, I'll do it from the perspective of someone who wasn't impressed by the books.
Honestly, the Wheel of Time a great is a great starter fantasy series. If it's one of your
Yeah,
if it's one of your first ones, it can be fantastic. If it isn't, well, actually, that reminds me. I'm actually gonna make you a comic book recommendation. I think you'd like.
not really.
Yes, it's an Image comic. It's a fantasy comic called Birthright.
Oh,
Um,
Birthright.
yes. I'll give you the premise. Just look up Birthright Image Comics because the name is not exactly the best conductive to searching. Uh, to give you the idea of the
I'm getting
premise a
a
little bit,
very purple feeling out of this one.
uh, I'll give you the premise of the book. It's about a kid who gets stuck in a fantasy world, comes back as a grown man, and to has to get his family to help him with this fantasy world stuff. I'd rather not say too much because there's a great twist to it,
You know what?
and
This is actually looking like a contender to compete with the likes of Conan the Barbarian.
I think you would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I actually think this is one of those comics that doesn't get talked up a lot by people. I actually think you if people wanted to give I think people need to give this one a shot.
All right. I'll keep that in mind when making my birthday wish list.
Yes, please.
But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of fantasy stories out there. I mean, if Wheel of Time is your first fantasy story, I mean, more power to you. You're, I mean, you're allowed to like it. It just didn't do much for me. I mainly read it because, well, somebody wanted to do a D20 campaign based off of that setting, and in order to roleplay correctly, we had to know a little bit of that, a little bit of lore of the universe. And unlike the rest of the party, I actually read in a lot into the books.
You're like, I don't take the easy way out.
I mean,
I'm gonna go hard. Oh.
in all seriousness, I could have been an Ashman by that time. Which, I mean, for those of you who haven't read the books, it's like a male version of an Aes Sedai, although I don't think anyone knows what an Aes Sedai if they haven't read a book. Think official magic user type person within that confines of that universe.
Uh-uh.
Kind of like that.
Nerd. Mike, nerd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you.
And that's the thing. I know a lot about what a lot of the stuff within the books I can make references day in and day out, more so than most of the people who are complaining about the show at this rate. And I don't even like the books. That's the thing. And I could quote it better than most people who actually do like the books.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare?
I mean, I'm like, I'm like one of the guys who could probably remember that the Two Rivers folk. It's like the characters in the beginning were celebrating Beltane, which was that in-universe equivalent of Christmas.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, I won't fault anyone for liking the series. It's just not my thing. There are
It
other fantasy stories out there. I mean, there's like I'm trying to remember. There's like I've been trying to get into the Dead Earth series or something like that, where It was one of the book series that inspired the magic systems of D&D.
Oh yeah, that one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I've just gotten myself a Solomon Kane book.
Nice.